So, hello and welcome to this video. This video, as I said in the video previous to this one, is about soft plastic fishing for halibut. The main focus is going to be about light tackle fishing. As far as light tackle fishing for halibut goes, I'm talking 30 to 80 grams for the rod, and so the jig cannot exceed that. That in itself is not that difficult, right? You can get a jig that size, right? The problem is the hooks, right? So these jig heads have been supplied by Bill Hurley. I will link his details in the description if you have a need to get some. The coating I have done myself. I don't know, maybe Bill will produce some in the future if they become popular. I don't know. It's easy enough to do yourself anyway. The main problem with this is the fact that you need a light enough jig head and a strong enough hook. Then starts another problem. Over the years, I have noticed halibut have a thing about the size of baits, right? What I have noticed is they are reluctant, although this is not a constant, to take a bait that is under 18 centimeters, in my experience. This is a clip of a fish assessing whether or not the bait is worth the squeeze or not. Okay, take a look at this. Come on, take it. Take it. Oh. Oh. Ah. Now, many people have commented on this video and why they thought that fish had turned its nose up. The most common comment was the fact that the color was wrong. I have seen halibut caught on every colour under the rainbow. Another guy commented that he believed the halibut only wanted to take the jig head first. This is something I have never seen a halibut do ever. On any video ever, I've never seen one in real life try to do it either. So I don't think it was that at all. What I have experienced is a lot of follows by halibut over the years. The common denominator is the size of the bait. Every time they turned their tails and left, it was because the bait was too small. The trick is to have a bait that is big enough to fish on a medium to heavy rod. And the golden number here is a bait, including the head, must exceed 19 centimeters, at least. This is it here. This is Bill Hurley's jigs and Bill Hurley's tails. And this is what I'm going to be swimming mostly for the light tackle fishing this year for halibut. And I'm going to knock a centimeter off this. The biggest one is 85 grams and the smaller one is 75 grams. And the hooks are size 8/0. Owner 8/0, and this is a mustad. Bill spends a lot of time making sure that his jig heads have the right hardware on them, just in case you come across an unexpected monster of a fish and you can get the hooks to deal with it. They are super strong. I have other jigs for the halibut, and I will elaborate on this, right? As I said previously in this video, halibut have a thing about size. Yes, it does matter. Don't believe what they tell you. This is it here, right? This is a very interesting bait to me because not only is it the biggest bait that I swim, it comes in at 29 centimeters. It is a bait that weighs 185 grams, a hell of a lot of lead to be thrown and winding through the water. But what makes this easier is the fact that it has air bladders in the tail. And that means that I can retrieve it quite slowly or add a great deal of action to it because it has flotation in it. It doesn't demand the same amount of cranking as, say, this lure here, which is just a normal silicone body and 110 gram head. So this one takes more effort than this behemoth here, right? And I can swim this one in shallower water than I can this one. And like I said, it's all about size with the halibut. I'm not going to say who makes this bait. If you want to know, ask in the comments or contact me on Instagram. If they ain't paying, I'm not saying. But it's not like I'm trying to withhold anything from you. These jig heads I have produced myself, the coating, I've sourced the hooks. The bodies of the jig, you can't really use them like this unless you alter them. I'm not going to do a video on it. If some of the members would like me to do a video on it, so you can recreate this lure yourselves, I will give you links for the jig heads and the coatings and the hooks. And you'll have to source the tails yourself, wherever, because you'll have the name and everything else, and you can just do that. They are a little bit pricey sometimes, but if you dig around, you can find discounts on them. As well as air bladders, they also have a rattle in the tail, which is something that I have also altered to make it swim like this. If you're just following the channel and you're not a member, apologies about the fact that I'm not willing to share this on the channel on an open platform, but it is a lot of work and it's going to suck up a lot of my time. The videos themselves are quite time consuming, but it's not that hard to do this yourself if you put your brain power to it. But it is something that I am going to offer the members because of their generosity in supporting me monetarily, okay? One of halibut's most favourite food sources is the greater sand eel. And this, to me, matches that almost perfectly, apart from the red head, you know, but like, everybody loves a ginger, right? And I have several different patterns, some with paddle tails, and they all have UV accent on them. The hook on this jig here, the biggest one that I throw, is a 12-0, and the smallest one is a 10-0. The baits themselves weigh in at 150 to 180-ish, depending where you cut the tails, right? And another reason I designed these jigs like this, and I went to a lot of trouble to find the right jig heads and everything else, not only do they look like a sand eel, these jigs will cast the furthest, and that will give me more advantages if I can put a bait out further and draw the halibut in. Oftentimes, halibut will take a long time to make up their mind whether or not they're going to hit a bait or not. And if you can't get it in front of them and get it to chase them, more often than not, you're not going to catch as many. So a lot of the fish that I catch actually follow the lure for a fair decent time. That's what they like to do. They like to follow them. They do take them impulsively sometimes, but it's not that often. A lot of times I've seen them chasing baits, and it's something they enjoy to do. If you can get your bait out further, bring it in, you got more chance of putting it in front of its nose, one way or the other. So I hope this helps people out, and I hope it helps you catch a fish of a lifetime. I'm Billy. This is Billy sharing the love. Wherever you are in the world, remember, I'll see you on the beach. Bye.